I'm gonna be doing my July wrap up. Welcome to August. Yay, are you excited? This is my first month of proper holidays and I'm just loving it. So anyway, I read so many books in July even though I had to do other work, but I was like procrastination. So I got through quite a few things and I want to talk about all of those today, right here, right now. You come to the right place. Yes. I'm so awkward. This is unreal. So the first book I want to show you today is Winter Girls by Laurie Halse Anderson. I already showed this in my book haul. This book is about a girl who struggles with anorexia or recovering from anorexia, as well as the death of her friend who died from an eating disorder as well. And it's just a really great book. I really enjoyed it. It's definitely YA, but it's written in such a way that I just thought was so beautiful. Like, protagonist Leah struggles throughout the entire book with feelings of guilt towards her friend's death because she blames herself for it in parts, and it's just such an emotional journey that she goes through and that you go through with her as a reader, and it's really gripping. I really love this a lot. I like the style of writing where sometimes things that she thinks or wants, like sometimes food as well, is like that she says like, I want to eat this, and it's just crossed out in the book and it's just like, I don't need to eat this. Things like that I thought made the book so much more interesting because it shows the struggle, her inner struggle between what she wants and what this disease is telling her that she wants, and it's just so well done, and I really enjoyed this. I haven't read anything else by Laurie Halse Anderson so far, but I really want to give other books by her a try now because this one was absolutely fantastic. And next we're instantly jumping to my favorite book pretty much this entire year. This is Gretel in the Dark by Eliza Grenville. Also talked about this briefly in my past video. It's about the Second World War, both set in 1899 in Vienna and 1940 in Germany, and it's kind of got two differing storylines, basically one way before the war and then the second one after, or like in the ending stages, I guess, 1940s I should say, not 1940, in the ending stages of it. So we've got these two diverging storylines that then merge together in a way that is absolutely fantastic, and I just really enjoyed this book so much. Fairy tales play a really big part of it, as well as elements of mystery and intrigue, and you're kind of not sure what's happening a lot of the time, but in a good way. And as far as I could tell, all of the questions that came up, almost all of them, were answered at the end, because that was something I was worried about because it was throwing up so many questions. I was like, how are they ever going to wrap this up in a way that sort of encompasses all of those things that are just like, here's a loose end, here's a loose end, here's a loose end, how are they going to tie that up? But I think Eliza Grenville did a really great job with this, and I absolutely adored it. So if you like historic fiction, especially about the Second World War, definitely recommend this because it's gorgeous. This book is so well done. I just loved it all the way through. Another book I finished this month, I actually started a while back. It kind of took me a while to get through it because it was just sort of slow going at times. This is Lolita by Vladimir Nabokov, which, if you didn't know, it's about Humbert, who is a pedophile, and he marries this woman whose daughter he's in love with, and then circumstances happen in a way so that he becomes her caretaker basically, and they take trips around the country and they have this actual sort of relationship going that's really weird and strange and disturbing as fuck. But overall, I have to say, I actually really enjoyed this book, especially the ending where everything kind of came around to the conclusion that Humbert was actually in love with her, like really truly in love with her as a person, and not just as a little girl that he wanted to do really bad things to. And despite or even maybe because of this very controversial topic that it sort of concerns throughout the entire book, and that it circles around, obviously, this book is written in such a beautiful way, and it's written like a love story, like a really true love story. Very well done, very well executed. I just really love this feeling of the ambivalence that you have towards the situation, because on one hand you're like, this is really bad, this is so disgusting, oh my god, I can't read this is horrible. And then on the other hand, sometimes because it is written from Humbert's perspective and he is so in love with Lolita, you kind of can't help but sort of feel for him, because you sort of almost root for him to be able to express that love as well and to be able to live that love, but he can't or he shouldn't, he does, but he shouldn't, on the other hand, because it's so wrong. It's like a really, really confusing book, and I thought that that was done really well. I guess that's kind of the point of it, to really mess with your head, and if it was, then that was done so well. I love this book so much, especially the ending. I thought the second part was rather slow going, like, because it was just them driving around the countryside and like him describing this place and then this place and then this place, and it was just so uneventful. That was really boring actually at times, but other than that, I really enjoyed this book. I thought it was fantastic. It did such a great job of such a difficult topic, and definitely recommend it if you haven't read it yet. On to more light-hearted things. I also read Detective Conan, the 84th volume, I guess, this month, because it came out this month. This just made me be so into Detective Conan again. It just made me want to have more of it, but I can't so far at this point because there's no more out yet, but I really want to. The next book I'm quite ashamed to even show on camera because it is so trashy and so bad. Let me just give a quick disclaimer. First, I bought this secondhand because I read so many rave reviews on this on Goodreads. It is literally like, I think the average rating of this book is like 4.5 stars or something ridiculous like that. And in the end, I couldn't even finish it because it was so atrocious. This is Night Pleasures by Sherilyn Kenyon, and yes, the cover doesn't really aspire too much. It doesn't really say like, oh, I'm such a highly intellectual book, obviously. But on the other hand, I've read like trashy books that were so much better than this. This doesn't even pretend to have a story. Honestly, it is so bad. It is so bad. I just wanted to punch everybody in the face all the time. I think I managed like 40 pages before I threw it across the room. I read so many graphic novels this month. Look at this, guys. I read like 6 graphic novels. They all happen to be published by Image, which I think is really interesting because I didn't realize that until later. So the first 4 are, oops, these are not in order at all. These are the Saga novels, volumes 1 through 4, which I've talked about plenty of times. Other people have talked about these plenty of times. The first 3 of these were actually rereads for me, because I read them like last year, and then the 4th one was kind of new, so I just wanted to kind of refresh my knowledge of the story. It is so good. It's fantasy and sci-fi and amazingness and sarcasm and witty banter, and I just love it to no end. The other 2 graphic novels I read this month are The Wicked and the Divine, Volume 1, The Faust Act, and Volume 2, Phantomonium, and these are really amazing. I talked about these in my haul video really quickly. They're basically about gods who are being reborn every 90 years as young people, basically, or like reincarnated into young people, and they are pop stars for 2 years and then they die. And it's pretty cool because the gods are from different belief systems, so there might, like, there's Sekhmet and there's Amaterasu, like from Japanese lore, I guess, and it's just so interesting. Like, to me, I just love it, and the storyline is quite confusing, takes a little bit to get into, but I'm hooked now. And oh my god, the cliffhanger of the second one literally had me scratching out my eyes. Well, not literally, but was very close, because oh my fucking god, how can you do this to me? How can you do this to me? Damn! What am I supposed to do now? What am I, like, I can't handle it at all. If you want some graphic novels that are really cool but not as talked about, I definitely recommend these because they deserve more hype. They're awesome. I read so many series this month. The next 2 books, again, the first one was a reread because I'd forgotten almost everything about it. This is The Bone Season by Samantha Shannon. Again, I'm gonna link my review I did of it down below in case you want to know, because the storyline and the world of this is so complex. I can't start from scratch, like, explaining it every single time I mention it. So I'll just like link everybody to the review. Like, I talk about it so extensively there. Go and check it out. But this is amazing. I love this so much. I actually really loved it as much the second time. I don't think this is ever gonna get bad in my opinion. And then I also read the sequel, The Mime Order. So you guys, these are so good. I actually almost like the sequel more because this focuses a lot on Sheol 1, the sort of penal colony, and then this focuses more on the syndicates and on what happens in Cyan, London, and it's just so interesting. Like, this entire world is so interesting to me and I love it so much. So definitely go and check these out because they're amazing. Nan, where's book 3? I want book 3 in my life. What am I gonna do without it? I don't know. Like, cry myself to sleep every single night because I want book 3. And then the last 2 books I read in July were The Kiss of Deception and The Heart of Betrayal by Mary E. Pearson. This one just came out this year and this was also a reread for me for the very same reason that I reread The Bone Season. I just, oh god, the first book is so good and then the second one is so disappointing. Why? Okay, you guys, let's talk about this because I was so excited for this book to come out. I love The Kiss of Deception so much and I really couldn't wait for this one. And I still enjoyed it, like, overall, but I had so many issues with it, mainly concerning the style of writing. I don't know if this was the same in the first book or if I just didn't notice it until the second book, but the way that, like, sometimes the author will start like a dialogue with a direct speech. So someone would say something in like quotations and then the answer would just be summed up in a paragraph. Like, they won't even get a voice anymore. It just annoys me so much. It seems so lazy to do that. Like, instead of focusing on writing good dialogue and fleshing out the characters through dialogue, they just info dump everything. For example, Lear will say something like, "So tell me about your mother," and then it will continue with, "He told me his mother's name was Catherine. She was this and that. She was this and this happened. This and this." I'm like, oh my god, I don't read this book for the information that it's giving me. I read this book because I thought that the storyline was interesting and I thought that the world was interesting and I wanted some suspense and interesting stuff happening, and then it's like, oh yeah, and this happened, just so you know. It's like, I don't give a shit. I don't want to just know. I want to be taken on a journey to finding this out, and it's just, damn. And every revelation that happened, the plot twist that happened, I was like, why is this done so poorly? I really don't know. I never thought that it was suspenseful at all. I always felt like it was kind of just done, like it was like the author was working through a checklist that was like, oh, I'm telling them this, check. I also let them know this, check. Like, that's not what you're supposed to do here. You're not just supposed to tell us what happened. You're supposed to just take us on a journey, and I wasn't taken on any journeys. I don't know if you were, but I wasn't. I was so disappointed with that. And I mean, yes, the story continues interesting, but then the ending, which is supposed to be a cliffhanger, but let's face it, it's not, because who doesn't know what happens next? Let me just put it out there, you people who have read it, are you really unsure of how it's gonna end? Because I'm not. It's like, I don't even think that you're gonna mess with us because this book is so straight face, plain. I'm not even trying to mislead you style of writing, and it just frustrates me so much. I'm sorry, guys. If you enjoyed this book, I don't want to ruin it for you because more power to you. You could love this. I loved the first one. I just was asking and hoping for so much more with the second, and it just wasn't delivered, and I can't just... I hate it so much. I hate this even more. It's like, when I read a book that I don't expect much of or don't know what I'm getting myself into, I never feel this bad after. But if I really was excited for it and was hoping for it to be so fantastic and then just wasn't, it's just such a letdown. And I don't really, I'm gonna read the third one, let's be honest, I am, but I don't know. I'm just, I wanted this to be a good series, and it's just kind of not anymore, and it makes me very, very sad. That's all. So on that depressing note, let's end this video here. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I thought I had a great reading month. I loved most of the books that I read, with a few exceptions, and I'm so excited for August because now I can have so much more time to read. Yay! Hopefully I can finally reach my Goodreads status quo, I guess. Like, I assume like 13 books behind, which is pretty bad, but before I was like 20 books behind, so at least I'm catching up in small ways. Just doing it slowly, but it's happening. Anyway, let me know what your favorite book was this month, and I'm going to see you guys soon. Have a lovely week. Bye! Hi guys, so today I'm gonna be showing you all the books and then the last 2 books I read, and then, what? And then the last 2 books I read in July were, no, that's wrong book. Like, for example, what was her name? Fuck, I forgot her name already. Leah. Her name's also Leah. Everybody's name's Leah. So that. I'm so good. No, I'm not. Wait, what? All talked out right now. I can't really form words anymore. I'm done. Now I need to clean